coasters today go over 400 feet tall and are over 100 miles an hour. But have you ever wondered how these scream machines got their popularity? Well, today, this is the history of the Coaster Wars. So the Coaster Wars originally started with Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point when it opened in 1989, and it smashed multiple records, being the tallest roller coaster in the world at the time at 200 feet, and the world's first hypercoaster being manufactured by Aerodynamics. They did make multiple other roller coasters of this same exact type, but eventually D.H. Morgan Manufacturing took over this style of ride and has created almost 5 of these models of hyper roller coasters. It is notable for its triangular-shaped bunny holes at the end, which provide some insane ejector airtime, and it is right next to the Soak City Water Park, which gives it a beautiful setting right next to Lake Erie, and you do get some pretty nice views. This was just the first of the Coaster Wars that sparked madness all over the US and many other countries. Steel Phantom opened at Kennywood as the fastest full-circuit roller coaster at 80 miles an hour with its monstrous 160-foot height and almost 200-foot drop off a ravine. The ride had a total of 8 locked inversions and recently got revamped. The Aerodynamics coaster got revamped into a Morgan Manufacturing steel hypercoaster that made the drop height to 228 feet and the top speed of 85 miles an hour, making it one of the best hypercoasters in the world. The Pepsi Max Big One, later renamed Big One at Blackpool Pressure Beach, originally opened in May of 1994, smashing one record as the tallest roller coaster in the world at 213 feet with a top speed of 74 miles an hour. The ride also opened with the steepest drop of any roller coaster at 65 degrees. As you can see here, that is the massive 213-foot drop that leads into the 74 mile an hour top speed. Now the ride was it's the same aero hypercoaster as Magnum XL 200 and Phantom's Revenge. When Fujiyama opened at Nagashima Spa Land in Japan, it broke 2 of the records, 3 of the records, such as the tallest roller coaster at 260 feet tall, fastest full circuit at 81 miles an hour, and the total length at 6,700 feet long. Now, the ride is manufactured by Togo, and you might be thinking, why would Togo manufacture such a good roller coaster? Well, actually, this was probably the only good roller coaster by Togo, which makes it on the top of people's roller coaster list manufactured by Togo. Tower of Terror, recently renamed Tower of Terror 2 at Dreamworld, recently opened with over-the-shoulder restraints made by Intamin. It actually is a Intamin one-pass launch, which originally opened with lap bars up a 377-foot tall tower, going up 328 feet of that, and then falling back down through a 100-mile-an-hour LSM launch, which made it the fastest full circuit when it opened, and the tallest roller coaster, but not the tallest full circuit. Superman the Escape originally opened as the 415-foot tall, 100-mile-an-hour roller coaster that is exactly identical to Tower of Terror and Tower of Terror 2. It is renamed Superman Escape from Krypton now, but it is a complete waste of money because it goes the same exact height as Tower of Terror 2, just with 415 feet tall on the top, and it has a double twin track, which allows for 2 times the amount of capacity. It also got renovated from riders staring straight up in the air after the 100-mile-an-hour launch to staring straight at the ground, which in my opinion is a lot better, which means this ride has 2 stations and 2 times the capacity. It also has the Brad Intamin over-the-shoulder restraints, making it manufactured by Intamin. And the ride also tied the speed record and topped the height record to 415. From one side of Six Flags Magic Mountain to the other, we have Goliath, the first roller coaster on this list by a really unknown manufacturer who only made around 2 hypercoasters. It's Giovanola, and they constructed this 235-foot tall, 255-foot drop, massive roller coaster that topped 2 of the records, such as tallest full circuit and fastest full circuit. This ride was extremely insane when it came out, as Six Flags Magic Mountain had already held the record for fastest and tallest non-full circuit roller coaster, but Giovanola made this record even better by making the fastest and tallest full circuit roller coaster. Commotion struck all over the US and other countries as Cedar Point was back on the scene, making Millennium Force the world's first Giga coaster and the tallest at the time at 300 feet as the tallest full circuit roller coaster, also the fastest at 93 miles an hour. The ride is manufactured by Intamin and sent roller coasters flying into popularity of the fact that roller coasters were growing in height of exceeding 300 feet tall, which hadn't been seen before since the past 20 years. Millennium Force is still one of the best roller coasters today and frequently ranks in the top of people's roller coaster lists. Just around 3 months later, Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spa Land in Japan opened as being the tallest and fastest full-circuit roller coasters, and the ride is manufactured by D.H. Morgan Manufacturing, which, as I talked about before, overtook the Aerodynamics Hyper roller coasters. Now, for the first time in the amusements industry, B&M provided trains for a roller coaster they did not build, and the ride has a top height of 318 feet and a top speed of 95 miles an hour. The ride also took the length of the longest roller coaster in the world and still holds that to this day at 8,133 feet. The ride also is extremely smooth with the nice B&M Hypercoaster staggered seating trains. Dodonpa at Fuji-Q Highland was the next roller coaster to open at 106 miles an hour. It sped up a massive top. At the launch was compressed air, and it went from 0 to 106 miles an hour in just 1.8 seconds. The ride recently got renovated, increasing the speed from 106 to 111.8 miles an hour in just 1.6 seconds, creating 4.3 Gs on passengers right after the launch. After the launch, it consists of some turns, and instead of the top hat, it got renovated into a 160-foot tall massive vertical loop, which still holds the record today as the tallest vertical loop in the world. This roller coaster proves Cedar Point wrong that fast and tall roller coasters didn't have to have giant heights and not inversions. Top Thrill Dragster, the world's first strata roller coaster, opened in 2003 and smashed records as Cedar Point was once again on the boards for the Coaster Wars. The ride only had a lap bar similar to King Kong today, which we will talk about later in the video. The ride had a 120-mile-an-hour hydraulic launch, which was said to be the best launch in the world when it opened. The ride had a top height of 420 feet, unleashing a new category of roller coaster called the Strata Roller Coaster. Top Thrill Dragster was sued for many lawsuits, such as a woman being hit by a falling piece of the support structure, and which caused it to be SBNO since 2021. Recently, they've reimagined Top Thrill Dragster into Top Thrill 2, as you can see here, which has a LSM multi-pass launch and a massive 420-foot spike on the back. Finally, to sum up the Coaster Wars, we have Kingda Ka at Six Flags Grand Adventure, the current second fastest and tallest roller coaster in the world. It has a top height of 456 feet and a top speed of 128 miles an hour through a hydraulic launch that is still holding today. Unlike Top Thrill Dragster, the ride has over-the-shoulder restraints instead of lap bars. Additional, it has a massive 128-foot tall airtime hill leading into the brakes, which could pull some negative Gs if you're hoping to enough. The ride is really fast and seems to rip off your face as you are going through the layout. The ride is basically the same as Dragster, except the fact that it is tall. The roller coaster that really ended the Coaster Wars is Maverick at Cedar Point, a 100-foot tall beyond vertical roller coaster with 3 inversions, one that got removed, a hardline roll that was really intense that stressed the trains way too much. The ride proved to many theme parks and companies worldwide that roller coasters didn't have to be high and fast with tons of inversions to be thrilling, as Maverick has the correct dose of airtime, inversions, beyond vertical drop, and speed, and many other things that convinced most roller coaster enthusiasts that rides didn't have to be big to be thrilling. Another honorable mention is Formula Rossa, the world's current fastest roller coaster at 150 miles an hour, which opened soon after Kingda Ka. Right now, we have Falcon's Flight in the making. This is an Exocoaster, which means a roller coaster over 600 feet tall, and according to some people's beliefs, Falcon's Flight might start another Coaster Wars where roller coasters are going to be higher than 600 feet and faster than 156 miles an hour. The ride is actually also almost half constructed by now, assuming to be opening around 2026. That's a wrap on today's video. Subscribe if you love roller coaster content. Thanks for watching.